Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go three abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
For the final time this year, it's the Outlaws versus the Posse. Oh, here we go. Batten down the hatches again. This time, it's the Speed Palace. Oh, the old high speed. Port Royal Speedway is going to be on display this weekend. The Nittany Showdown points battle for the Outlaw Championship. Bragging rights for the Posse versus the Outlaws. It's all on the line this weekend. Oh my gosh, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be berserk. Oh, it's going to be crazy. So it's going to be fun weekend, that's for sure.
For sure.
And unfortunately, when we're done with that, oh boy, it's just, there's not a whole heck of a lot else. That's the problem. I mean, we got some good 360 racing.
We got big doings at the World
Well, we got
Finals.
big doings at the World Finals. I'm not saying we're done for the year. I'm saying this weekend.
It's the beginning
We've
of
got this epic, this incredible, this amazing Outlaws versus the Posse, but in the 410 world, that's all we got.
Yeah.
The good news is it's going to be fun. It's going to be big, and we'll talk about that as well. We're going to share with you. We shared with you on Tuesday. Oh, my gosh. This is nuts what we're doing at the Hall of Fame. Tony Stewart, Ray Evernham, co-hosting a show with the legends of the sport.
Yeah.
Oh,
Story
boy.
time.
Story time, exactly. 11 a.m. World Finals Saturday from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. We'll give you more details on that. And we are going to catch up with Bobbi Johnson. Lots to talk about with Bobbi, so can't wait to catch up with her as well. Before we do all of that, though, let's take a look back. Last Friday night, Lakeside Speedway, Johnny Gibson with the call for the World of Outlaw and NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. It was that historic first win for the Ford. Donnie Schatz and Brian Brown going after each other. It is our Dryden Diesel Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Dryden Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Into turn one, Schatz on the bottom of the racetrack, looking for the lead. He's got it at the midpoint of the backstretch. Can he hold it through 3 and 4? Donnie Schatz low, Brian Brown up high. They race for the lead out of turn 4. Donnie Schatz leading lap 13.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information. Instilled with Dryden's heritage of performance, Dryden Diesel All Def is built for the demands of today's diesel engines. Dryden Diesel All Def is perfect for owners and operators of on-road and off-road diesel trucks and cars that now require diesel exhaust fluid. Dryden, official motor oil and official diesel exhaust fluid of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. And as always, American-owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Are you a serious diecast collector? Do you have a favorite driver? Are you looking for a gift for a race fan? No matter what the question, the answer is always PlanBSales.com. Plan B has all the latest in diecast from Lionel and apparel, artwork, and other items for your favorite driver in NASCAR or other forms of racing. Go to PlanBSales.com. Key your driver's name in the search window and look at all the options. Your one stop for diecast and other motorsports collectibles is PlanBSales.com.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
This is the Wing Nation Podcast. Back to Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
We're having a ball. Glad you joined us here on our podcast. talking sprint car racing, and love this show because we get a chance to catch up with some friends and folks along the way that we haven't caught up with, and don't necessarily get into the details of what happened last week, although in this case we'll talk some about that or what's coming up. But joining us on the hotline is Bobbi Johnson. Hello, Bobbi. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, great to catch up with you. We will talk a little bit about last weekend, the Jason Johnson Classic at Lake Ozark Speedway. Describe how this came about, the work that went, just tell us a little bit about how this all came about.
The family and I last year, after Jason's passing, like many other families, feel that, like he was pretty known in the racing community, and we wanted to continue like his name and legacy going on. Yep. And we discussed about having a memorial race. We were approached and stuff, and at that time, it didn't really work out the same year when Jason passed and stuff in 2018. So we discussed about having, because we field a World of Outlaw race car and stuff, that we have a World of Outlaw race with his name and stuff. I did ask about Devil's Bowl because that's where, for 10, 15 years, we grew up around and we lived and stuff like that and worked at. And so that was his much favorite track. If you ever ask him and stuff, he'd always refer back to the Devil's Bowl Speedway. But the World of Outlaws already had other naming rights and partners and stuff at that point in time to do those races. So then Tim Trimble approached us about having it here at Lake Ozark Speedway, which is only 8 miles from the shop here where we live in Rocky Mount, Missouri. And we got to talking. He came visit a few times and stuff, and we put a deal together and stuff like that. And at first I thought like I just have a little bit of insight and I do some cool stuff and everything else. But Tim and Debbie Trimble, the owners there at Lake Ozark Speedway, they kind of stepped back and they let me move forward and actually promote the whole thing in every way and aspect that I wanted it to be done in his honor and stuff like that, which is really cool to a point. But then I'm not a promoter, so my hat goes off to any promoter in this whole United States or across the country, Australia, wherever, because I never realized or knew. I saw how much work goes in a race team, but I think the promoters need more credit after you look at what all goes into it, all the stress, the headache, the everything. There's so much unseen things that go on that it's just unreal after I did it.
I bet.
Bobbi, what would you say are some of the hardest things? For those of us who've only been on the race team side or the media side, what were some of the stresses of promoting, besides the rain that you had to deal with?
Yeah, I was going to say, by far, Mother Nature is your biggest stress factor, no matter what, and stuff like that. Which, it looked like on the map like it was going to quit. Well, it kept saying all week long, early a.m., and then it moved back. And so it was like, okay, well, at one point it was like, oh, are we going to open the gates? And I'm like, hey, yeah, we're going to open the gates. We said 2 o'clock, we're opening the gates. So they ended up standing behind me and opening the gates, and fans got to come in, get a free, some giveaways that we had sponsors give out and stuff. And then from that point, we had there at the racetrack 5 employees that didn't show up in the concession stand for one of the biggest nights of the whole year.
My.
And it was like, oh gosh, how are we going to overcome that? Well, I called Phil's family and some friends and some sponsors to wrap burgers, serve food. I was in the popcorn stand serving nachos, anything to knock the line down so that people got to enjoy the race menu that they came watch. So it was just, and then on the 305 side, I talked to racers for the last month or so that it was going to be like a run what you brung. We were just going to have fun because Jason always said about, the fun gets taken out of a lot of this stuff because you're always there in competition and everything else. So my whole deal was with the 305, so I could allow, say, like Royal Jones and guys from New Mexico and Texas that were all of our friends in Oklahoma, T-Fab's car, all those guys to come down and race. We had to open up some of like the rules as far as titanium and stuff. But I'm not very knowledgeable in the 305 side because we just never dabbled in it. So I kind of struggled with some of the stuff, even the pay. So I had to go and spend a lot of hours looking through rules and looking through this. And I was just like, let's just have fun, boys. Like, let's not make it so serious. Just go out. And, after the fact, a local guy won, and he said it was absolute blast and stuff. And we did a really cool thing that had, old retro cooler that Jason loved taking on the boat here and stuff. So I got 3 of those made, and Noah from Shell Shock painted them all to make them look all unique and different. And I mean, he come back and said that was the coolest thing that he's ever won. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
just find it unique, I guess.
That is sweet. I mean, that's just amazing. Now, my understanding is that promoting a race is something that, is it accurate that it's something that Jason at one time had talked about he always wanted to try?
Yes, many a times. And I guess, was the thorn in his side saying, how are we going to get that money to, put up for a race? Or how are we going to do this? I guess I was always the negative one.
Yeah.
He was positive and said that he wanted to dabble in it, try it, this and that. He has a little black book up there, and he has a bunch of check marks, and there's 3 or 4 things that aren't check marked off in that book, and some things I feel like I can accomplish on his behalf and stuff, just stuff that he talked about going up and down the road of, I would do this, I would do that, I would make it like this. The biggest, coolest thing that I got to see and witness was between the rain, after the rain, we were packing the track and trying to get it, way good for the guys to even attempt to go out there. I had a family that Jason actually went down and put some cars together, and when he didn't have a ride, they were going to give him a ride, the Whittington family, down in Monroe, Louisiana. And at that point, they cooked big old pots of jambalaya for everyone. So during the delay, we in the pit area, we filled up the whole back of a golf cart full of this jambalaya and bowls, and we went and handed out. And actually, Casey Kane came by and ate some, and he's giving us a thumbs up. And so I feel like just a little bit of unique stuff that Jason talked about. People actually enjoyed it, We gave all the racers, thanks to Waco Metals, that came through the back gate. We were able to give each one of them a T-shirt that had the Jason Johnson Classic on it. That was just a unique shirt that a lot of them, it was pretty honorable because under their race suit, they had it, they had their suit tied down around their waist and they had it on. So it made me smile a lot.
Wow, that's
That is
incredible.
great.
I mean, you took this promoting thing to a whole new level. You are one of the hardest working people I know. It's really commendable. So at the end of this night, you end up in victory lane. Your car is in victory lane with your driver, David Gravel, 10th win of the season. Could you have ever dreamed when you started this at the beginning of 2019 the season would go like it has?
No, never. I mean, I'm not going to say I was the naysayer at the start of the year when we all put our goals on the table, and Braden Sesh that does all of our tweeting and everything else, he said 10 wins is his goal, and I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, right. That's never going to happen. If we get 3, that's going to be good for this team. You know what I mean? I just felt not that we couldn't do it, but I mean, all the years in the past with Jason, we tried to obtain that goal, and it barely ever happened of any sort. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To race with the World of Outlaws, it's such stiff competition. It's so tight. It's to pull off wins like that. It just, I don't know. I don't even know how you describe it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I wonder about that, and it's the same thing. And to get 10 wins, but to get that Knoxville Nationals win, to get that, there's got to be times, Bobbi, of just you've been on a roller coaster ride, man. The lows have been low and the highs have been high. What's that been like?
Lots of tears some days.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Been to the doctors more than I've ever been in my entire life, from just stress of I used to vent and say stuff out loud, where now because I am somewhat the leader here, I got to keep in some of the stuff and not say too much, so I don't upset our crew, and I try to work through problems, and I really have to stop a lot of times and think how would Jason handle this? Because he was always calm, cool, and collective. He never let things put him up against the wall. He always figured it out. Some way he was going to make it all happen or work. And even for next year, I sit here wondering, David Gravel and Jeff have been talking about trying to get him a truck ride. And it's oh goodness, a lot of people think we're on a high. Well, to me, we are on a high, but it's still the roller coaster's coming down, because we could possibly be at the low where we have to go back to the same drawing board last year at this time, finding a driver to sit in the 41 JJR car, and then, our sponsor's going to stay. Are they going to leave? Do I need to obtain this? What do we need to do for this? How do we need to market this? But then I just look at it I don't know, things happen for reasons, and he always used to tell me, stop stressing, things work out on their own. You know, just put time and effort into it. Don't quit working hard at it, and it's all going to pan out. So I keep going back to that. It's hard not to stress a little bit in between the highs and the lows of life.
For sure. Well, I'm sure with your work ethic and the support team around you, it will all work out. We truly believe that. Bobbi, when you look towards the end of this season, you're talking about the highs and the highs. There's got to be some of you that is a little bit relieved coming into the off season. I know you do a lot with Jax. He's in school now. How is he doing? And are you looking forward to a little bit of downtime? Although I know you're stressing about next year already.
Yeah, like every Wednesday I volunteer at the school right now, so like that keeps him. I find that keeps him happy. Like he knows that ever since Jason's gone, he has the fear that I'm not coming back now, you know, and stuff. And then this past week, they have, like, he goes to a little church school, and they had like a chapel service, and they were saying about angels, and it's worked on him all week long because I never knew, you know, some of the stuff in the Bible and stuff, but the preacher explained it and stuff, and Jax has been really upset from what he said about angels, of how we classify angels, and you know, and just his beliefs and what we always told him, you know, from a dog in heaven to now Jason. And so I had to actually go to the teacher yesterday, which everyone started going back to their houses, flying to Australia, flying back here and stuff. So I think it's the emptiness again that he has around him without all of his little friends playing and stuff. So I had to go to the teacher and say, you have to get the pastor to come explain this because I can't fix it. Like, you have him all upset about the angel thing, you know? So anyways, they pulled him aside yesterday, and they sat with him for a long time and tried to explain it in kid terms way better than I could. But like, if Jason was here, he'd be so good at it, where I struggle. I struggle at that part as a mom, you know, to find the right words and how to fix some situations and not get upset and stuff like that. But all in all, like last year, he was getting minuses and 4 wrong on his paper out of 4. And I'm so proud when I pull out of his little homework book and stuff like that every night. There's only been one time where he got anything wrong. Everything else has been pluses and, you know, 100%. And he's smiling. And if he got something wrong, he's like, I'm really sorry. You know, so like he really comprehends it this go round and stuff, which we had to hold him back in kindergarten because they all thought it was the right thing.
Yeah.
Because they said for the first 3 months he sat there and he just listened and he never applied himself type deal. So I just kept thinking, well, Jason would want him to be a leader, not a follower. So that's what they recommended. So that's what we're doing. So we get to go to Charlotte in a few weeks. So he's all excited about that because he's doing so well over there that they're letting me take him out and continue, you know, finish off the season really high with him. So super awesome, really.
Super awesome indeed. Can't even imagine it. Just can't even imagine it. Team owner and all of that. And then you throw mom on top of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's what an amazing journey and what an amazing story. Bobbi, we appreciate you taking some time, bringing us up to date on Jax and the team and the successful promotion you had this past weekend. We can't wait to see you at Charlotte, and we just wish you the best as you continue one day at a time. None of us can envision the journey you're on, but we can respect the hell out of you and how you're doing all of that, and we appreciate you sharing some of that with us today.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for asking about our insight of our life and stuff like that. And I have to give a huge shout out to my dream team down there. Those boys never give up, and Philip's a great leader when it comes to that, to keep them all on the same page no matter what happens throughout the night. So, and, you know, David's been doing a super exceptional job for us this year without, you know, being easy on equipment and keeping that thing up in the front running, I guess you could say. So thank you for having us.
You got it. Thanks, Bobbi.
Thank you.
Bye.
Woo! You think you got stuff going on in your world? I'll tell you what. It's rare that I'm like speechless, not knowing what to say. But I don't know that you can. I just don't even. You don't even understand. You don't understand the energy she put into promoting that event. And you don't understand the energy that she's had to put in running the team. And granted, Philip and David and everyone's done their job. But when you start to the Jax stuff,
you start talking about what she's had to go through, grieving process, and then being a mom, having to have a little one going through the grieving process, I have so much respect for Bobbi, and I love how the race community all kind of puts their arms around her, and we're all here for her.
And that's what we are as a community, as a society. That's what we are. And you hear stories like that, and you listen to Bobbi, and it's just can't wait to go to the World Finals and give some hugs.
Seriously, I was thinking the same thing.
It's like, God.
Getting teary-eyed, goosebumps. I went through all of it.
I'm not teary-eyed. I'm fighting this cold. So
I'm
fighting the cold, and I
just got worse that segment.
I sliced some onions beforehand too. It's just it's people. What did TJ Stutz on Tuesday said it was the holy grail of life, sprint car racing. He's talking about a win at Port Royal. But when you look at it from Bobbi and Jax's side, the holy grail of life is the sprint car family and this community. And so, man, I'll tell you what. And I just go back and think, hey, I'm running here and running there and think I've got it bad and I've got challenges. Holy mackerel. I got nothing on my plate compared to what Bobbi has. And raising that boy. I don't know. I appreciate her time and her candor in sharing that with us. Her team, the JJR team, will be on the road this week at the Nittany Showdown at the Speed Palace. I bet you that infield is full of race car fans this weekend. Oh man, I bet you they stack them and pack them there. The World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, Friday and Saturday night. Saturday night, $15,000 to win, the Posse versus the Outlaws. What's interesting about this, is that the Outlaws have been back there since 2014. So what is this, the fifth one? I think it is. 2014, Ryan Smith won. Score one for the Posse. 2015, it was Brad Sweet, Logan Schuhart, and Donnie Schatz twice now. So it's been 6 times, and the Posse has not won since the first one. So y'all better get up on your game up there. Dietrich, I'm talking to you. And your gang up there. But Donnie Schatz has won the last 2. So when we factor in the World of Outlaw Championship battle, the Posse versus the Outlaws, just can't even wait to see what happens. Other winners there back before they were there in 2003 the last time. Jason Myers, Brad Furr has a win there, Danny Wood, Doug Wolfgang, Don Kreitz Jr., and Lynn Paxton also have World of Outlaw wins at the Speed Palace. But it is going to be the hot spot this weekend.
For sure.
I can't even wait to see how this all unfolds.
I know.
It's going to be epic.
And everyone in Pennsylvania, unfortunately, we're running out of races, so they'll be there.
They'll be there, for sure. Our friend Pete Walton. Oh, yeah, you can count. There's very few things you can count on in the world, okay? I mean, very few things. And the sprint car world, it kind of comes and goes. One thing you can count on is Pete Walton with USCS having a race. When we went through all of that rain in the spring, they're getting rained out in California. They're getting rained out in Ohio. They're getting rained out in Pennsylvania. And Pete got both of his shows in down on the Gulf Coast.
Yep.
Pete Walton will host a race.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't scared to put a race on. And this week, Talladega Short Track, the Halloween Havoc, Friday and Saturday night, complete shows both nights. I think Tony Stewart might be on the docket to go down there. So going to be good down at Talladega Short Track. Top Gun Sprint Saturday night at Volusia Speedway Park. That is going to be good. Our friends at the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, they're catching their breath after the 46th Annual Winter Nationals, and they'll be in action. This is going to be fun next weekend at Texas Motor Speedway with the NASCAR crew in town. So NASCAR folks, walk across the parking lot, go over to see the dirt track. Dirt track folks, walk across the parking lot, go see NASCAR. Can't we all get along here? So there you have it. All right. World Finals is coming up. We shared this on Tuesday, but want to readdress it. Here we go. Friday and Saturday, 3 o'clock, Fan Zone, Dryden Wing Nation Race Day. It is going to be a pumped up, in-your-face, loud dancing, singing, karaokeing, all around, having a good time, root tootin' son of a gun, having a good time with some great race car drivers as guests. Yes, we're going to have a great time. But listen to this one. Saturday morning, 11 o'clock of the World Finals, 11 a.m., NASCAR Hall of Fame. It is all legends, including the hosts, Ray Evernham, the NASCAR Hall of Fame class of 2018, and Tony Stewart, who will be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame of 2020. They will host the show with legends of dirt track racing and some of our sprint car Hall of Famers. Still finalizing that list. But just put it down, 11 a.m. Get out to the Hall of Fame earlier in the day, take a lap around there. Man, what a great spot the NASCAR Hall of Fame is. Take a lap around, 11 o'clock, make your way to the Great Hall, and that's where we will be with Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham. Man, that's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. It could get a little out of hand.
Yes, it could get a little out of hand. Wing Nation gear is available at www.wingnation.com. That's wingnation.com. Hefner Racing Products, our friends, of course, they're telling you now to gear up for the off-season. Get all those shop supplies. You got to have the shop supplies. You got to have that shop organized. And then when you got the trailer, you've got to organize the trailer.
And then you got the bull, you got to organize the bull.
You got the bull and the mule and all of those things. But yeah, Hefner Racing Products, hrpracing.com. That's www.hrpracing.com. Now this one here coming up, that's our upcoming calendar, is what HRP Racing is about. And we have Jacob Allen joining us on Saturday on our MAV TV show. Yes, that's 7:30 and 10:30 a.m. Jacob Allen, part of Team Dryden, going to join us. Can't wait to talk to Jason. Yep, Shark Racing. Can't wait to talk to Jason. So we truly appreciate Bobbi Johnson for sharing some of her story with us, and we thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation.
This has been the Wing Nation Podcast. Find Wing Nation on wingnation.com, Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider. The Wing Nation Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.